Today I'm diving into the weird and emerging world of GambleFi. What is it exactly? And the projects I personally think could skyrocket come next bull run. GambleFi has been a sector that I've personally avoided so far. Mostly because I was a bit arrogant and thought that as a serious investor, I shouldn't be investing in tokens that are associated with concepts like gambling. So earlier this year, when I had a stranger named Smokey Lisa pop into my DMs talking about their gambling token and how great it was, I almost immediately dismissed it. They swore up and down that the token had great utility. It had great product market fit. And if I would just take a deeper look, I would probably be very interested in what was going on. Despite this, I just didn't pay much attention. I was really busy at the time and I was more focused on things like layer 2s and the DeSci space and the GameFi space and all these revolutionary, world-changing things that were happening in the crypto space. Plus, all the smart researchers and analysts on Twitter either ignored or hated the GambleFi space, so it was really easy for me to do the same thing. Despite me ignoring it, Smokey Lisa kept DMing me and telling me I should really take a deeper look. But again, I was really busy and I just kept putting it on the back burner. Time went on, months passed, and to my surprise, that token that Smokey Lisa had been talking about, I started to see popping up on Twitter everywhere. And that's because the token had skyrocketed in price, doing about a 20x from when Smokey Lisa had insistently told me that I should check it out. Had I just taken a deeper look and invested $1,000 into this token, I would have $20,000 today. Obviously, at this point, I'm feeling pretty stupid. By getting it in my head that I was a serious investor and I only needed to pay attention to the revolutionary, the widely talked about, widely just praised sectors of the crypto space, by getting that in my head, I had missed a massive opportunity. And since then, I've learned a very valuable lesson. One, arrogance comes in many forms and it will always burn you as an investor. Two, just because something is widely hated and ignored doesn't mean you should avoid it. In fact, I would say the exact opposite. When something is hated and ignored, you should probably take an extra special interest in that thing, because it's almost always the case that the most lucrative opportunities are initially widely hated and ignored by traditional investors. After all, if a sector is widely paid attention to and loved, what sort of opportunities could be left at that point? So here I am, a little bit humbled, not as wealthy as I could be, and having learned a valuable lesson, finally diving into the GambleFi space. And buckle up, because it's a lot more interesting than I initially thought. The basics of this opportunity are really simple. 1. Do people love gambling and sports betting? Answer, absolutely. The gambling industry is absolutely booming, with revenues expected to reach around $800 billion by 2026. 2. Do people love gambling and sports betting online? Answer, yes. It's a $95 billion industry and it's rapidly growing at about 11% year over year. 3. Are there any problems with online gambling today that crypto could improve on? Online gambling is full of trust issues, as is honestly pretty much all gambling to a degree. We all know that the odds always favor the house, but we don't always know to what degree the odds favor the house. It's hard to trust whatever platform you're using if you don't know how much the house is manipulating those odds in their own favor. By contrast, a gambling protocol built on chain could easily prove beyond a shadow of a doubt exactly what the odds were for each individual game. Crypto enables another pretty cool concept in that it allows users to play against the house, but it also allows users to be the house. Protocols, by issuing a token, can allow users to actually share in the revenues that are generated by, people playing these games. And currently, a lot of the sites in the industry do this in one form or another. One of the most compelling features of the blockchain is that it allows systems to replace middlemen with code. In this case, replace the casino, the bookie, etc. that traditionally requires a great degree of trust with trustless code. Replacing these middlemen allows for gambling sites that have much higher odds in favor of the players, as there isn't as many pesky middlemen that need to take a cut. And in my view, that one fact is probably all the GambleFi space needs to eventually win out against, their traditional rivals. Users, all things equal, probably just want to go the place that they have the highest chance of winning the most money. So that, in a nutshell, is the opportunity. Let's take a look at some of the projects that I'm looking at going into the next bull run. And as always, none of this is investment advice. None of this is me telling you to buy these things. You should always do your own research. And blindly copying YouTubers is a great way to lose all your money. Also, on top of that, to be clear, I don't gamble myself. This is not a recommendation to use any of these sites as a user. This is purely looking at these things from an investing perspective. Number 1 is Rollbit. Obviously, this is the one that I ended up missing out on, and it already did a 20x. However, since then, it's pulled back a bit as the market's tanked, and we're currently in the middle of a bear market. And odds are, a token that performs good in a bear market performs significantly better in a bull market. Given I don't personally gamble, I can't tell you like how good or maybe fun this site might be, but I can look at the stats and see how much it's being used. As of the time of this writing, the 30-day revenue for Rollbit sports betting is almost $6 million. $6 million over a 30-day period. That's extremely good for a crypto protocol. And that's just one way that they make money. The 30-day revenue for their crypto futures market is around $8 million. And the 30-day revenue for their casino games is $25 million. That's actually insane. That's $39 million in revenue over the past 30 days from an obscure crypto gambling site. Annualized, that's around $473 million in revenue. The market cap for RLB is around $418 million, meaning currently the market is valuing the RLB token less than their actual projected annual revenue. For comparison, Tesla's market cap is $831 billion, and their revenue is $81 billion. So that's about a 10x revenue to market cap ratio. And keep in mind, this is during a bear market. These numbers disconnect significantly when you're in an actual bull market. So, right now it's a 10x market cap to, revenue ratio. Maybe in a bull market, it's a 15, 18 to 20x revenue to market cap ratio because people just lose their minds during a bull market. Overall takeaway here is Tesla is valued at 10 times its revenue. RLB is valued less than its revenue. Meaning by this metric alone, RLB should be sitting about 10 times higher than it currently is today. Again, that's just based on its revenue alone. And this is in the middle of a bear market. We can see those revenues spike in, a crazy bull season. Tesla was valued around 18 times its revenue during the last bull market, and crypto gets even wilder than that. I mean, most crypto projects don't even have revenue. They're valued at like infinity times the revenue because they don't make anything. As mentioned earlier, a certain percentage of RLB's profits are used to buy back and burn the token. 10% for the casino, 30% for futures, and 20% for the sports betting. My personal view based on all of these numbers is that the RLB token is currently significantly undervalued despite its 20x run up in price. I was a massive idiot for not investing earlier because, based off these numbers, this thing's gonna go quite a bit higher in my own personal view. And I could have made a fortune that I'm now, is significantly smaller because I was arrogant and stupid. I ended up buying some at current prices and I'm holding it and waiting till the next bull run. Number 2 is Betswirl. Betswirl is tiny, currently sitting at around just $3 million in market cap. For comparison, as mentioned, RLB is about $400 million in market cap. Betswirl seems to be somewhat similar to RLB, but lacking most of the casino games that make RLB so popular. In general, my initial take is that the UI just doesn't seem to be in line with the major players in the space in its current form. But really quick, let's look at the numbers. It looks like Betswirl makes around $233,000 in revenue annualized. Meaning, based on current revenue, if we're comparing it to, Tesla being a 10x from its revenue, the protocol is fairly valued or slightly overvalued. So really, if you're looking at something like this, the bet here would be that you'd have to believe the protocol will eventually gain more market share as time goes on. And being that it's so small, I'm definitely tempted to jump in just because, the market cap's so low, but at the same time, I can't seem to find a good excuse to do so. So for now, I think this one I'll skip. Number 3 is Winner. Winner is a little different than the ones we've seen so far as it's a foundational protocol, not a dApp. Winner's vision is that other dApps would build on top of it, allowing the market to choose the best dApp and Winner to benefit by being the underlying foundation. Think of it similar to something like the Apple App Store. Rather than Apple deciding what app should be on the phone, they opened it up so anyone can make apps. The best apps stuck around and the bad ideas died. That's sort of the vision for Winner. Currently, they have just one dApp built on top of them called JustBet. JustBet looks a lot like some of the top platforms in the space and currently only seems to offer casino-type games. The current market cap for Winner is $28 million. And total volume since the launch of their first platform back in May of 2023, so not even 4 months ago, has been $67 million. I couldn't find the revenue numbers in the same way that, I could find it for Rollbit and that I could find it for Betswirl. So for comparison's sake, we're going to look at the volume. Rollbit's 24-hour volume is around $17 million. And over the last 3.5 months, that's around $1.2 billion in volume, which again is insane. Comparing that to the volume, we're seeing on Winner, that's a 19x difference between the two in terms of volume, assuming Rollbit has had a stable volume of 17 million or more over the last few months. That would mean compared to their individual size, volume-wise, Rollbit and Winner are somewhat similar. Obviously, $1.2 billion and $67 million are not the same number. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you 19x the market cap of Winner to the size of Rollbit, and you 19x that 67 million, you know, they're somewhat comparable. They're a little different, you know, Rollbit still got an edge there, but they are within striking distance of each other. However, it's worth mentioning that Winner so far has just had one dApp launch on top of it, and there are already 2 other dApps slated to launch soon. I really like the concept of Winner in that it's not reliant on just one platform, but allows for a wide range of experiments as platforms build on top of it to try to find product market fit. I personally ended up buying some just to see how things pan out over time. If successful, they could be the foundation of an entire ecosystem of GambleFi projects. Fourth up is Fun Token. Fun is a project that's been around for forever. I actually used to own some Fun Token back in 2017. And despite Fun being insane early and having a massive advantage over everyone else, they've so far managed to produce very little in actual results. And for that one reason, I pretty much just wouldn't touch this one at all. Fifth up is BetFury. And I'd say so far out of all the competitors to Rollbit, this one is probably the most similar as far as casino games. The token has a market cap of $50 million, and BetFury works a bit different in that you stake your tokens to get payouts that come directly from platform revenue. According to them, all the funds from non-winning bets placed on the platform go to the staking pool, which sounds like the revenue from the platform is the payout for the staking pool, which would mean annually you could project based on the day that I was looking at the profit, their profit would be around $12 million annually. Meaning BFG, which is the token for BetFury, is valued at about 5x its revenue, sitting at $50 million. So it's still undervalued, but not as undervalued as RLB is and maybe some of the others. So this one might be worth looking into, but personally I didn't end up buying any. Sixth up is Azurro. Azurro is a similar concept to Winner. It's a protocol meant for building various dApps on top of it. And currently there's actually 7 different dApps already built on top of it. This protocol looks amazing and is definitely something I'm interested in. However, they don't currently have a token, but they have confirmed that they will have a token. So for now, I'm going to hold back on doing any sort of in-depth analysis as we have no market cap to compare the revenue to. So there's no point at the current time. My guess is they're probably waiting for a better opportunity in the market to launch their token. So I went and followed them on Twitter, and I'm just, going to keep an eye out and see when they do that. Once the token launches, I'll take another look and depending on the market cap of the token, decide if it's a good play for me or not. Seventh up is Kinko. This is a Solana-based GambleFi app and it seems to have a UI comparable to Rollbit. The market cap for the KNK token is a tiny $1 million and it looks like this is a newer token launching back in late 2022. KNK is somewhat similar to RLB in that they do buybacks and burns at a flat rate of 33.33%. The total profit for September was $58,000, putting their annualized profit at around $696,000. That means currently they're roughly valued at about 2 times the revenue. But they're small and obviously being so quality, it wouldn't take much for the revenue to skyrocket from here. In fact, they have some of the exact same games as Rollbit and are very, very similar from what I can see. The only difference I can see is that Kinko is 400 times smaller than Rollbit. For me, this one ended up being too good of a risk to reward ratio for me not to throw some money in, and I decided to buy some of the KNK token and see what happens over time. The reality is, if GambleFi is a huge narrative come next bull run, there's bound to be more than one winner. And a rising tide tends to lift all ships. If there's any projects I missed, let me know in the comments below. If this video is helpful, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the little bell next to it if you want to be notified each time I release a video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next week.